What it is, guys, let me say that it is an awesome pleasure to be back again on Treadmill Motivation. I'm getting acclimated into my new surroundings. As you can see, I'm now in the backyard of our new home in Lake Elsinore, California. No more in my home in San Diego. So I needed to get everything set up for this brand new session of Treadmill Motivation with your boy Eminem. And this is my 50th episode. 50. What a great way to come in and start a new day on Treadmill Motivation with your boy Eminem. And it's the 50th episode today. Now today what we want to talk about, 7 steps to change everything in your life. Everything. There's been some major changes in my life. There's been some major changes in some of your lives. But I want to let you know that we want to talk about 7 steps on changing anything in your life. Rojas, what's up? Did you miss me, y'all? Did you miss me? I missed y'all. But it's good to be back on Treadmill Motivation. Back outside. I'm outside in the backyard. I'm able to get some fresh air and enjoy. Well, it's not really sunshiny because it's cloudy and it looks like it's going to rain. But you know what? We're right back at it. I need to get back on this treadmill. I needed to get back, to sweating it out every day, dropping those pounds like we talk about, in your life, and certain things that you want to change in your life, whether it's losing weight, whether it's a new job, promotion, whatever, new relationship. We want to talk about some of those things today. So, as I normally do in all of my treadmill motivations, please share this out with your friends, share it with your loved ones, and share it with those that you don't get along with. Hopefully you can hear me pretty good because I'm using a brand new system today. And what's up? Hopefully that is coming across loud and clear. So if it is coming across loud and clear, please give me a thumbs up while you're here live. And we're going to jump right into this because I don't want to take up too much of your time because, I like to do things, give you what we want to give you and get out your way. And those of you that are new, I welcome you to the M&M's Treadmill Motivation. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it's our endeavor to encourage you naturally and spiritually, mentally and emotionally. So let's jump into this. 7 steps to change anything in your life. And you have to ask yourself, is there anything in my life that I would like to be different in? If there's anything I'd like to be different than what I'm doing right now, or what it is I'm doing right now, or who I am right now. But when you think about that question, is there anything different that I would like to do? Is there anything different I would like to be? As far as, let's say, losing weight. I'm on this treadmill every day because I want to drop down to a certain weight to get some weight off my back and things like that, because they're talking about doing surgery, and it's not full-blown surgery, it's orthoscope. So I'm leaning towards that direction, but I'm yet praying and asking God to give me comfort in that decision that I need to make. Let's see if we can bring some light to the 7 things that we want to change. Anything in our lives. Maybe it's a mate. You want to meet someone. You'd like to have a new relationship. Or maybe it's to make more money. Hey, who doesn't want to make more money, right? We all definitely want to be in a position to make more income in our life. But this is a big fundamental issue that we all face. One reason is because most of us would like to change or improve certain aspects of our lives. Would you not agree with that? Yes, definitely. We would all like to change certain aspects of our lives. But if you find yourself in this particular camp, and we find ourselves in this particular camp at least once or twice in our lives, maybe more, then you will find the following steps that I'm going to share with you to be very handy for you, to be very useful for you. And it's a process you can follow to change anything in your life. And I'm going to put this disclaimer out here like I normally do in my early treadmill motivations. And I said, today is my 50th episode. I'm not no guru. I'm not your motivational guru. So, don't take everything as absolute as what I say. because it's just information that I'm sharing with you to encourage you as well as encourage myself in making certain changes in our lives, mentally and spiritually, emotionally, and you want to say spiritually, emotionally, mentally, sexually, all those areas in your lives, you want to make certain changes. Definitely. So, number one, what do we talk about as far as number one? And I got this new contraption I'm working with. So you guys bear with me for a minute while I get this thing rolling here. You know, being in a new environment, setting up new systems, setting up things so I can give it to you raw, uncut, shaken, not stirred. But number one, what we want to talk about is know what you want rather than what you don't want. Those are things that we want to concentrate on today. Number one is know what you want rather than what you don't want. Okay, no matter what, you have to decide in your life. You have to make this decision in your life what you do want. Okay, so that you have something specific to move towards. Do you know what you want? Is it something that's attainable? Even if it's not attainable and you still want it. There's nothing in this universe to say that you cannot obtain that except your own abilities. Okay? A lot of people will tell you what you can't do, what you can't have, who you can't be with. Really? According to who? Them or you? Your abilities are not their abilities, and their abilities are not your abilities. So the reality is that most of us focus on what we don't want. Have you ever focused on a lot of things that you don't want? Sure we do. There's a lot of things that we focus on what we don't want, okay? Things in our lives and what we don't want to experience in our lives. And here's some examples. These are 3 examples that I find personally that I found myself focusing on. And you might agree with these as well. This is the first one is, I don't want to be alone anymore. Have you asked yourself that question? Have you heard some of your friends and families that are single say that statement? I don't want to be alone anymore. How about I don't want to be overweight? Well, hence me being on this treadmill every day. I don't want to be overweight. I want to be healthy. I want to be in a, strong, vibrant man, So those 2 questions, I'm sure you might have said yourself or you've heard someone say. And the third one is, I don't want to be broke anymore. Oh boy. How many have said that? I have. Exactly. We all have been to that point in our lives where we say, man, I'm tired of being broke. I don't want to be broke anymore. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be overweight. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want the other. I don't want them. So how often have we talked about people that we don't want in our lives, right? But the reason this is so important is that we gradually create what we focus on in our lives. So whatever it is that you're focusing on, you're creating that thing in your life. Understand this key concept. Where you focus your attention is where you get your results. Oh, that's good right there. What's up? How you guys doing? This is your boy Eminem. Those of you that are just coming in, this is my 50th episode of Treadmill Motivation. It's good to be back on Malachi and Christine's page, our brand new page. Remember, keep your notifications on so you know when we're going live, so you don't miss out on any of the information that we want to share with you. But today what we're talking about is 7 steps to change anything in your life. And here we're talking about as far as knowing what you want rather than knowing the things that you don't want. Or put it this way, we want to focus on the things that we want rather than the things that we don't want. Okay? That's what we're talking about. So the key concept in understanding any of this is that where you put your focus, okay, where you have most of your focus and you focus your attention on is where you're going to get your results. So what are you focusing on today? What are you focusing on as of late? Are they negative? Because whatever you put your mind and your attention on, you're going to get that. That's going to be your result. So think about it. If most of your attention is invested in pushing away the things you don't want, or the things you do want, let's put it that way. Now, let's stick with the don't wants right now. Things that if you put your investment in pushing away things that you don't want, you inadvertently remain focused on exactly those things. Nancy, how you doing? Good to see you. Those of you that are working out, I'm glad you're working out with me on your walk, wherever it is. You watch this later and you're out there walking. I salute you. I'm proud of you. I had lost 25 pounds when we first started Treadmill Motivation. 25 pounds walking on this treadmill because the doctor says I couldn't run any longer because I had knee surgeries from football accidents, in my time of playing football. And so my knees, they're like bone on bone. So he says, no more running for you. But he says, if you got a treadmill, get on the treadmill and work it out. If you got a bike, get on your bike, work it out. If you can get to a pool, get to that pool and work it out. So whatever you can do, work it out. And this is what we're here for. As I said earlier, to motivate you, treadmill motivation style, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, right? All these areas we want to motivate you. And what we're talking about today is 7 steps. We're not going to get into all of them today, but this is the first step, is know what you want, okay, rather than what you don't want. And the key concept in bringing this in is we have to understand where you focus your attention is where you're going to get your results. And when you think about it, the most times, and most of the times that we're thinking, is it invested in pushing away the things you do not want? And what happens is you inadvertently remain focused on exactly those things. You remain focused on being alone, as we stated earlier. People say, I don't want to be alone. You focus on being overweight because that's what you focus on. Linda, how you doing? We focus on those things. I don't want to be overweight. So what do? Every day you talk about, I don't want to be overweight. Oh, does this dress make me look fat? We men got to be careful with that question because that's a trick question, right? Got to be careful with that. So that's true, Nancy. Whatever you do focus on, it expands because that's where all your attention is. And we want to draw that in to the positive. And the other thing is, we focus on not being alone. We focus on not being overweight, and we focus on not being broke. So now all of our attention is expanding on those areas. It doesn't sound pleasant, when you think about, you being alone, you being broke, you being overweight. Man, that's like 3 negatives. I'm broke, I'm lonely, and oh my God, if you are talking like that, let me get it out. Don't talk like that any longer. Focus on not concentrating on you being alone. Stop concentrating on you being broke. Stop concentrating on you being overweight. If those are your areas, you might have some different areas. So just use the same process. Stop focusing on what you don't have. Now, many people, they focus on these their entire lives. Their entire lives. Focus on the weight gain, not in a negative weight gain, but the weight loss that you want to be at. I want to be 125 pounds. I want to be, I want to be 200 pounds. My ultimate goal is to be 200 pounds. Okay, when I first started, I was like 240, somewhere around there, 240. Man, I was like just feeling nasty, just tired all the time, didn't have no energy, didn't want to do nothing. And so my focus was on me being overweight and not happy with the way my clothes fit. Not happy the way I look when I looked in the mirror when I put on a suit and it's tight. But now, because I stopped focusing on what I, can claim to be overweight, I start focusing on the weight loss. I start focusing on the weight that I wanted to be at, which is 200. And so then all of a sudden, I get on this treadmill. I'm down to I started seeing the weight drop. That didn't drop automatically because things happen over time. That's Jim Rohn. Now I like that. Jim Rohn is good. But then all of a sudden I got on the scale. I said 225. I was, ooh, 225. I got 25 more pounds and I'm right where I want to be, right? And then I got on the scale. It was like 211. It almost blew me away because I stopped focusing on me being overweight and start focusing on where I really wanted to be. Okay, so conversely, what we're talking about today and what we're suggesting is that you focus on what you do, in fact, want to be true in your life. What is it that you want to be true in your life, right? You don't want to be alone? Okay, that's a true fact. You don't want to be broke? Oh, that's a big fact right there. You don't want to be overweight or whatever it is that you're dealing with. Let's focus on what is true in our lives. Even if you have to put little post-its on your mirror of affirmations, is I am 200 pounds. I am such and such. I will have XYZ. Now we're focusing on the true instead of the false. You know, how about like, I look forward to having a beautiful woman, or I look to have a handsome man in my life who is a great fit and match for me. That's a positive. That's a true statement. Or how about I look forward to living happily at whatever weight that you desire. Mine is, somewhere 200 range, so we can put that affirmation. I look forward to living happily at 200 pounds or whatever your desired weight is. And how about the other area as far as being broke? I look forward to making $250,000 this year, or I look forward to making $250,000 next year. Now, understand this, okay? You need to understand. This doesn't mean that you necessarily know now exactly how you're going to make it happen. Understand this. It doesn't mean that you necessarily know how, right now, how this is going to happen. That would not be too realistic when you say, I know when it's going to happen. These are goals and these are visions that you write on your vision board, things that you write on your dream board, in your dream book, whatever. These are goals, these are visions that you're writing down. My goal is 200 pounds. My goal is $250,000 next year. My goal is to have a new house. My goal is to be spiritually stronger in the Lord. My goal is to fast more. My goal is to read the Word of God more. These are goals that you write down so you can see those goals and to obtain those goals. However, the creative process necessary to get you there will never be sparked if you're endlessly focusing on what you don't want. It's going to take you that much longer to focus or to get to that level or that area where you want to be if you're continuously focusing on what you don't want. Stop focusing on what you don't want and focus on what you do want. What is it that you want? We had a goal vision workshop, and the first thing I told the people that were there is that you have to have a vision and a goal that's so redunculous, so large that people will laugh at you. People will talk about you. That's your goal. That's your vision. Make it so big, right? These are goals and visions that you want to be so ridiculous in everybody else's mindset that they look at you and go, yeah, right? But we want to focus on things that we want instead of focusing on the things that we don't want. So therefore, focusing on, I'm getting ready to close this out because my battery's running low. Focusing on what you do want is crucial. And the first step to catalyzing or really focusing on this yourself is into positive is the forward motion that you're making. What forward motion are you making? Is it in the positive direction? Is it in the right direction? So, this has been number 1. I told you I wasn't going to be with you long. This is episode 50. Good to be back with y'all. This is your boy Eminem. What we're talking about is 7 steps to change anything in your life. And the first one is, know what you want rather than what you don't want. And that's what you want to focus on today. I appreciate you guys coming in and spending a little time with me today. I'm going to finish the rest of my workout. And I pray that God continues cover you and continue to strengthen you, whatever you do and whatever your aspirations are in life, that it comes to pass. Think on the things that you want instead of the things that you don't want. Focus on the positive and not the negative, because whatever you focus on, whatever you put most of your attention on, that's the results that you're going to get. So we want you always to be prosperous. We always want you to hope, live, and to change. Thanks for coming in. And as I always do when I close out my Treadmill Motivations, is to give homage and praise and love to my wife. And I love you, Christine, with all my heart, all my soul. I'm so glad that God has placed you in my life as my purpose partner. You guys take care. You guys be good. Be blessed through the rest of the day. And on Wednesday, we're going to talk about cultivate the belief that it's possible. All right, you guys, be good. God bless you. I'll see you on Wednesday.